Will now be recorded.
Okay, I'd like to call the Site Plan Review Committee to order. Roll call, please, Terry.
Mayor Podolsky?
Here.
Dennis Persick?
Here.
Chris Atkinson?
Here.
Gail Quinn?
Here.
And Karowski and Paul are excused.
Okay, please stand for the pledge. And please remember our men and women throughout the world in uniform. Okay, I have no changes to the agenda. I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 5, action on site plan review minutes for the regular meeting, September 7th, 2021.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second to approve those minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 6, review plans for the following locations. 6A, action regarding requested site plan review for Alden Station Condominium 1, 417 Alden Circle, parcel VA-1555. Aaron?
Okay. Coming through, not coming through at all, is it?
No?
Let's try this.
Yeah.
One word.
All right, this one will work. This is the first condo building at the Alden Station development at the former Schneider National Trucking Company property on the riverfront there in the Fox River, where Ashwaubenon Creek comes into the Fox River. This project will be located at the far southeastern part of the property, right where Ashwaubenon Creek actually comes into the Fox River. The proposed condo is to be 5 stories. It will have parking actually on the first floor at grade due to floodplain issues, otherwise staying above the floodplain elevation as indicated in the site plan. There'll be a total of 42 parking stalls, 42 provided, 30 interior stalls on the first floor and 12 exterior parking stalls for a total of 17 condo units. So there's certainly more than adequate parking for the condo development. Exterior materials are consistent with the existing development on the site. What I'll do is I'll just bring up the site plan here, just to give you a sense of what that looks like. So here's the site plan. Here's the Fox River, Ashwaubenon Creek here to the south. The condo building right here, outline, parking lot, and there are plans for a future clubhouse and pool deck area that'll be submitted separately in the future. In terms of the exterior elevations, as you can see on the screen, similar materials and design or architecture as the existing duplexes and the townhomes that were just approved a little while ago by the Site Plan Review Committee. One item to keep in mind is that as the height exceeds 60 feet, we do have a 60-foot limitation for height within this area. We will need to amend the PUD to exceed the 60-foot, or alternatively, they can apply for a conditional use permit to exceed the 60-foot height as well. And that's one of the conditions of approval. Other conditions of approval, including obtaining a height permit from the Green Bay Austin Straubel International Airport. The catch-all meet all applicable requirements of the approved PUD for Alden Station. From engineering, provide grade contours to show proposed limits of disturbance. We are meeting with McMahon and Associates and Grafe together later this week to make sure that we're on the same page when it comes to the Ashwaubenon Creek Bridge that we're working on right now. So make sure that we don't have any issues with grading or retaining walls, things like that. We're on the same page with that. In terms of stormwater, verify runoff from lot 26 is treated by the stormwater pond. Public safety, ensure the fire lane is properly marked, including temporary gravel driveway through adjacent lot 27. Work with public safety department to locate Knox box on building once it's further along. Ensure a temporary gravel driveway through adjacent lot 27 is sized adequately as a fire lane to allow emergency access. Label the FDC, Fire Department Connection, with proper signage so it's distinguished as an FDC. Have subcontractors for all fire systems submit state-approved plan to public safety before install. Also from public safety, have subcontractors for all fire systems contact public safety for all acceptance tests to witness, including but not limited to underground sprinkler, hydrostatic, in-building hydrostatic, fire alarm, et cetera. And then last from public safety, ensure proper emergency responder radio coverage will exist throughout the building. If not, a radio enhancement system may be required. Forestry recommended approval of the landscape plan as presented, and I didn't get comments from Bike and Ped, but I did want to note that bicycle parking is provided within the covered parking of the building for tenants. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Otherwise, Ryan Radu of Radu Homes is also in the audience as applicant.
Does anybody have any questions?
Aaron, we did have a brief review on this. The only major thing, I believe, was the height restriction, which had to be approved.
Right, we'll have to bring that through separately.
Okay. And then I believe there was excess, an overflow parking across the street, was it, for the visitors or whoever does come?
Yep, there's actually more than adequate parking between the covered parking, the on-site parking, and we also have, when we designed the subdivision, we included on-street parking, kind of some, call them bump-ins for parking for visitors that may be in the area.
And all the building materials are within our code.
Yes, they are.
Okay, that's all I got.
Anybody else? Just a note, the condos are really nice and large, Ryan. They're up to 2,000 square feet. That's nice size condo. Some are bigger. Oh, there you go.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented with staff conditions.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve as presented with staff conditions. Any more comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Ryan. Okay, 6B, action regarding requested site plan review for Holiday Station Stores LLC, 2040 South Ashland Avenue, parcels VA-56-6, VA-56-2, and VA-56-7. Aaron?
Okay, the proposed Holiday Stations store is located at the corner of Mike McCarthy Way and the South Ashland Avenue frontage road. As you can see up on the screen, Mike McCarthy Way right here is to the north. The frontage road here is to the east. The building, as laid out, would have the gas station canopies as typical right here. The convenience store right here in this area, and then the car wash right here. Pretty substantially screened by some pretty extensive landscaping here along the frontage road. The project itself would demolish the existing Old Badger Ladder property, if you're familiar with it. It is not a great building, so it'll certainly improve that property by eliminating that building and putting in this new building. In terms of driveway access points, there are 3 proposed points, one right here, so another one here on Mike McCarthy Way, so 2 on Mike McCarthy Way, and then a third at the southeastern corner of the property to the Ashland Avenue frontage road. For reference purposes, this is about 200 feet from the intersection of the frontage road and Mike McCarthy Way. In order to use the property for a convenience store with gasoline sales and accessory car wash, it does need to be rezoned to B3 community business. So that it'll be a separate approval process through Plan Commission and Village Board in October. In addition to the rezoning, I want to mention that currently there are 3 parcels of land here, and here are the property lines. They are going through a combination certified survey map process with Brown County to eliminate those property lines and therefore not run any building code issues with the building crossing property lines. Exterior finishes of the building, I'll bring up the architectural here. Oop, that's a dumpster enclosure, that's always impressive. There we go. So the front of the building, you can see here at the top, earth tones, masonry, and then panels with concealed fasteners. Actually, a fiber cement wall panel system, again with concealed fasteners. In terms of the rest of the building, you can see here the canopy, and then overall the site plan and demo plan, so on and so forth. In terms of the recommended conditions of approval, I'll read through those. Some of these are fairly typical that we see in pretty much all of our projects. Screen any rooftop or ground-mounted mechanical units visible from the property boundaries or public right-of-way. All paved driveways and parking lots are required to be curbed. Prepare and submit an asbestos report to the DNR and obtain a village demo permit prior to demo of existing buildings. We want to make sure we catch that in the front end. We had a few issues with that in the past. No outdoor product sales except for propane. This was agreed to during project discussions early on in the process. So again, you won't have the piles of water softener salt, car wash, windshield washer fluid, the propane sales in a contained area, and that'll be it up for those outside sales. Obtain village board approval for a rezoning to a zoning district that permits convenience stores with gasoline sales. Regularly mow and maintain undeveloped grass area at the west end of the property, and that would be this area right here. So that's the third parcel that was part of the project. So that area will remain vacant for now. We just want to make sure it is maintained because this is a pretty important part of the community. Want to make sure it looks good. And then meet all other applicable conditions or sections of 17-2-200 Ashwaubenon Municipal Code. From engineering, there are 2 existing 6-inch sanitary laterals to the site. Work with engineering to review the need for new sanitary laterals. There's an existing 12-inch storm sewer. Again, work with engineering to review the need for a 15-inch storm sewer lateral. If it is 15-inch, it must be PVC and not HDPE in the roadway. So our technical component there. There was also a note from engineering that if the existing sanitary laterals are used, there will need to be an inspection manhole near the building. Make sure there's grease buildup, things like that. Also from engineering, no need for the 10-foot water easement on private property. And include an oil water separator in stormwater manhole 7 and stormwater catch basin 2. From stormwater, provide maintenance plan for on-site features. They are able to utilize the Ashland Pond for quality purposes. So nice there for the village to be able to provide that. Public safety and Knox boxes required near the main entrance to the building. Have subcontractors contact public safety before the install of fire systems and coordinate witnessing of acceptance testing. Have subcontractors submit state-approved plans to public safety for fire alarm, sprinkler, et cetera. From forestry, recommend to approve the plan as presented. From Bike and Ped, again, I didn't receive any specific comments, but I did want to note there are 2 bicycle racks identified on the site plan for customers and workers. I did have one recommendation of approval for the business owner to consider. Include a masonry canopy support wraps, similar to the existing Holiday stores. They have in a few of their Minnesota locations at the corner of Old Hudson Road and White Bear Avenue in St. Paul, Minnesota, and at the corner of Centerville Road and Highway 96E in White Bear Lake, Minnesota. That's a recommendation because, again, this is a very visible corner in the community. It is the entrance, one of the entranceways to the sports entertainment district. I want to make sure that it looks as good as possible for a gas station. I have nothing else, but Jim Gepner of Holiday is in the audience, and the engineering firm is available online as well. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, I'm sure they could provide additional information for you.
I'm just curious on this maintenance agreement for the runoff. Is that an annual payment or a one-time payment?
It's a one-time buy-in to the stormwater pond, and the maintenance agreement basically is just to, or maintenance plan, I'm sorry, is to just identify how you're going to maintain so that all the stormwater, or the things that go along with stormwater don't end up all in the pond, so whether it's sweeping the driveways, making sure that things are clean.
Aaron, can you just, I'm not familiar with these Canopy support wraps. Can you briefly describe what that?
Sure. All it really is, it's a decorative amenity. What you'll see is, so for instance, if you think of the Quick Trip on Cardinal Lane and Howard, for instance, for where the metal supports come down, they're actually wrapped in a masonry brick.
I see, okay.
Yeah.
Rather than the steel.
Right, rather than just the steel going right to the concrete.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Knowing we got an entertainment district there, this is not what I pictured in an entertainment district. I know it's better than what's there. I don't have a problem with that. It is a blighted corner, has been for years. I guess if that's what we can get, the only couple things that you had brought up, Aaron, no outdoor sales other than propane tanks. I don't want to see no wood. Or banners, especially what you see on these type of businesses with weekly ads and things of that nature. It's going to be the corridor to of the entertainment district to the west it's going to be the premier building. So it's got to be kept as neat as what you're explaining. I know in time, age does have something to do with it. I've seen a lot of other new companies come to town. Their asphalt, their concrete looks like heck because they're not power washing it after it does get dirty after a while with leaky oil and so on. So I hope they keep this place as clean as what it looks like brand new through the existence of my stay in this community. Like I said, I did not think of a gas station, convenience store in this location being the area that it's in. The concern I have is the exit on to the access road going north to Mike McCarthy Way. That's a goofy intersection that's got to be looked at in terms of controlling traffic for the people on the access road to get out to Mike McCarthy. Going to the south over to Morse Avenue, that's only a right turn only. That I think is not going to be a problem. But knowing the area, knowing that I use that area frequently, that can get plugged up on the Mike McCarthy entrance exit. I'll leave it at this. If this is going to be a problem, it will be brought back here. I know some of the people in that area are really concerned about the customers coming and going there, and that has been an issue before. Now we're generating more traffic, and it could become another larger problem. And I'm not disagreeing with traffic, because without traffic, we don't have development. But it's got to be controlled properly to keep everybody happy. So I'm just saying this better be functionable like they're presenting it to us right now, because I have a hard time believing it's going to be an issue. If they make a right turn out of there and go down to Morse, fine. But if they go north, I can see problems. I think Mike McCarthy probably should have some signage and something on the road to show, keep the intersection open. Do not block the intersection. I thought at one time there was some verbiage there. I probably should have looked before I opened my big mouth, but I hope these are taken in consideration when this development gets started to make sure it's marked properly. So,
Aaron, I got two things. One, just to clarify, was that distance between that exit on the frontage road and Mike McCarthy Way, was that the 200 feet you mentioned?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Second thing is, and again, I'm speaking out of some past experience on zoning, when we see landscape plans, we like to make sure that it actually happens. And so I'm not casting any aspersions on it, just like a little clarity on page 45, on the corner there, on that landscaping. I can't read the print because it's too small. Can you give us a little information about what that'll be?
Sure, let me zoom in here.
Good question, because that was where I was going next to.
Well, and it's just one of those things where, again, I don't want to sound negative, but we've been down that road with zoning, and people say they're going to do it, and we give them the go-ahead, and then somebody puts in a $3 tree and it dies, you know, so I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I would like some clarity on what would be there to screen that, because I think, on paper, this looks like a very good idea to me.
So what you can see here is they do have some pretty substantial sized trees. This is a proposed monument sign, with planting around there.
Yeah.
You see some screening right here, and I'll just take a look to see what those are. And Tim did review the landscape plan. He was actually really happy with it. So from the plant list, you can see what they are.
So I guess I'm more concerned just that if it suggests they're big trees, they're going to be big trees. That's okay.
Jim, if you wouldn't mind speaking to that, sure. Sure. Just state your name and your address for the record.
Jim Gepner. I'm from Holiday, and our office is located in Bloomington, Minnesota. And we are a regional gas provider and convenience store. We have about 550 stores in a 10-state area from Michigan all the way to the West Coast and then up to Alaska. The stores that we develop, these will be corporate stores, and we take pride in these stores that not only on the inside and the outside, that they look great from day one, and they're maintained that way. We take a lot of pride in that, as well as the employees that we have in the store and how well they're trained. So as far as the facility and the parking lot, we're just as concerned as you that it stays good-looking throughout. And as far as the landscaping, the plan that we're presenting, you know, we will honor that and deliver the landscaping as proposed and everything. And it'll be a nice, neat look and everything. And we think it'll make the corner look even more attractive and will be a good entry into, you know, Ashwaubenon. So, you know, we take pride in our developments, and that's what we intend to do. As far as outside sales, as Aaron has indicated, we'll just have propane out there. There won't be any, you know, piles of wood or anything else that will be out there as well. So we want to be a good neighbor, and, you know, we first, the Erickson family that developed our station started out in 1939 in Lindstrom, Minnesota. So we've got a long track record, and so I think it's going to be something we're going to take a lot of pride in. And we also realize we're new to the community. We're developing right now in Ledgeview. That store should be opened up in probably later October. And, you know, so we're coming into Green Bay. We want to make sure we do it right. So I hope that, you know, that, I guess, relieves some of the concern, and I realize so too. Now we just have to prove it and by what we develop. So we appreciate the opportunity.
Are you developing one in the Appleton area right now, too?
We're looking in the Appleton area,
There's
but
nothing there yet?
yeah, we don't have a specific site that we've locked in at this point.
Okay. All right, I hope you stay up to your word, because I do frequently, quite a bit, because I do buy some gas. I'm familiar with Holiday from the 70s. When I lived in Wausau, they had a junkyard around it back in those days. And I'm being a little mean at saying that, but all the goodies they had outside, I remember those times, but those were old service centers, and they don't have what you have today. Neither. Everything has changed over the years, which I understand, but I'm concerned because I did not think of this in an entertainment district. That's my concern. And you are the first building they're going to look at. Even though there's a big trucking company across the street, they're not going to be there forever neither. So there'll be some premier building going up there in time to come, so I will be watching you.
Okay, no, we understand and appreciate your concern, and we want to live up to what we're stating here today, our drawings and our actual stores that we've developed and everything. We take great pride in them. And I think you'll see that not only on the outside, but on the inside, they're going to be very attractive stores, and we're going to offer, groceries and, healthy snacks and, other, menu items as well. So it's going to be, I think, something that's going to be well received by the citizens.
Very
of the
similar to
area.
your competition? As far as the grocery end of it?
Yeah, as far as
Okay,
the offerings.
grocery, food,
Right,
Yeah,
right,
okay.
inside the store, yep.
the empty lot. How well are you going to keep that clean?
Oh, we're going to maintain it, it's going to look beautiful as far as, nice grassy area. We've got some landscaping over in that area as well. And yeah, no, we plan on, maintaining it. I've been in the, involved with Holiday for 2.5 years now. Prior to that, I was in the restaurant business, but the thing that I've learned over the years, the first impression is so important. So we don't want to have that, taken away from us because we didn't maintain, a part of our property, so.
Is that going to be so vehicles can drive on it, or is it going to be shaded from traffic?
Well, at this point in time, we're not, planning on any traffic over it, on that. If we see that at a later date, we need additional parking or whatever, it's nice to have
Well,
that
it's understandable,
flexibility.
but at this time, there's not.
Right,
Because if you would go to parking, you'd be doing paving.
right, yep. But then we'd still maintain, nice landscaping in and around it and everything, we want to make it as attractive as possible.
Grass will be cut, so on down the line.
Right, right, yep,
Okay.
yep,
All right,
once we own it.
there's no other questions. I'll move to approve with staff conditions, and the staff conditions, I want you to watch that close.
And just to be clear, it will have to go to Planning Commission and Village Board because it is in Sports Entertainment District.
And with, also to include your recommendation as well as the conditions, correct?
We can require the conditions. The recommendation is not in our code at all.
Okay, so we can
It's
just ask for
it's a best practice. It's something that I think would certainly enhance the site, but it's not something we can necessarily
All right.
require.
Okay,
That's,
just as a clarification.
that's the awning you're talking about?
Yeah,
That's the
Okay,
raft.
all right, yeah, that would make it look really nice for a service center like that.
Okay.
well, I'd second that.
Okay, we have a motion to approve with staff conditions and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, number 7, department reports.
Just typical, keep 'em busy. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it is Katie's birthday today.
What?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
so-
birthday.
Yeah, but we will have, we will have a site plan review committee meeting beginning of next month. We did receive a small addition to Jet Air at the airport.
Okay,
Did you say next month?
Yep, next month.
Oh, cripes, we're getting to the end of this month.
yes.
And then I also should mention, I do have a draft of the accessory building amendment that we discussed. We kept getting those accessory buildings in commercial. You asked me to put together an ordinance on that, so I do have that. I'm going to bring it forward at that meeting as well for your consideration.
Okay,
Very good.
anything else? Need a motion to adjourn, please.
Motion to adjourn?
A second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.